Okay, awesome. Welcome everybody for this end of the year class. We're so glad that you're with us on this New Year's Eve.
Okay, we should be good.
Okay. Could you hear me? It started, right? Right. Okay. So tonight our goal is to equip and empower and entertain and educate you on the basics of building your business. Our purpose is to help people grow, to educate, empower, and equip entrepreneurs and create independent servant leaders. And the goal of this school is to teach you how to build a strong and profitable business. Before we get started and before we get into the introductions and all, I would like to invite you to grab a pen and paper so you can know what's coming up. We have noon, Monday through Friday, noon Eastern Time, the MLM Lunchtime Leadership Shows, where Jeff and I present one of the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. These are becoming quite popular shows. People are, it's open to everybody, it's free. Anyone can invite their teams or friends, and people are doing that and getting great results. They're setting their alarm clocks even at 4 a.m. to be able to catch those shows. And Becky Gustafson, who's not with us tonight, but she's one of your fellow class members here. Becky bought 11 of those books, the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, and gave them to her family members for Christmas and gave them a link to the show. So that's a cool, creative idea. Becky, if you're watching the replay, we sure send you holiday wishes and love. I know that there's been some family challenges for her lately, so we send you lots of love around that. Tuesday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, is another Facebook Live that Jeff and I do on one of the aspects of your network marketing business. And that's a very popular show, too. People are loving that. And it's actually, we take one of the topics from this class and we bring it to the public and present that so people can have a little bit of a sample for this class. That would be a good one to invite friends to as well, or even team members. The quick Wednesday night, of course, is Leadership University. That is the second class that Jeff and I teach inside of this school, this generic school for network marketers, the MLM Millionaire Club. So what we have, the two classes that we teach so far, there will be more later, but the ones we have so far is tonight, the 10 core commitments, quick start basics that you're on now. On Wednesday nights, we have Leadership University, which some of you have had the opportunity to hop on and enjoy for the last 3 months, have been a gift to the students in the Quick Start Basics class. And starting after the first of the year, it will be a paid class. Usually it is $97 a month, but we're making it available for the Quick Start Basics folks to have both for $97 a month, both the Wednesday night and the Monday night class. However, right now, through tomorrow night only, through the end of the year, we're offering an extra special holiday bonus where you can get both classes for $68. So that you're saving $30 a month by taking advantage of the special by tomorrow night at midnight. When you do, your registration link is in your emails you got today, and it's also in the MLM Millionaire Club Facebook group. There's a bunch of posts with that link. So you can click on that, get registered, and when you do, just text me and I'll cancel your other one. I'll even prorate, refund you whatever is due you from paying a month ahead on that one. So I'll take care of all that for you. And why Leadership University? Because this is the advanced stuff where you develop yourself as a leader in order to develop the big teams in order to have the residual income. John Maxwell says that working on yourself is the best investment that you can do. He tells about his very, very first personal growth product that he bought, the first time he invested in himself. He was talking with the fellow, the person who represented that training program over lunch, and he said, John, what's your plan for your personal growth? And John hedged and told all these things he's doing and planning and all this stuff, and then he realized, he said, you don't have a plan, do you? And John said, no. And he realized how important that was, and how far could he go as a leader, and how far could he go in his business without a personal development plan to develop himself as a leader. So I think the cost of that many, many years ago was $797 or something like that. And John said that was a whole month's salary for me. So he went home and he talked with his wife, and they decided to save and not eat out and really save every penny they could. 4 months later, they had that payment for it, and he bought that. And he invited people to his office not just recently to show him that first product that he ever bought. And he said, if you don't invest in yourself, then how can you value your own personal growth? When people ask him, do you have any free stuff? He goes, no. He said, I don't have, I don't have any respect for people who don't invest in themselves. And I know that the more that I do pay for something, the more I get out of it myself. So I have spent, and Jeff has, and Brandy has too, many thousands of dollars over the last 20 years or so of our lives on personal growth and development. The thing is that anything you spend with the school, by the way, is tax deductible for you against your business. So there's a lot of reasons to invest in yourself. The average return on executive coaching actually and teaching is 7 times what people spend. So it's probably much more than that inside of this class because we have kept it very inexpensive. But just go ahead and message me, private message me, or call me. My phone number's on all those emails if you have questions about Leadership University. So that is on Wednesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Same as here. It will be a different bridge number starting out after the first of the year, a different call-in number, that is. And it's always 9 p.m. Eastern Time Wednesday, and it's 90 minutes just like this class, and we also turn that off, and we have open coaching and questions and answers after that, just like this class. You can mark your calendar. Some of you are going to be at this event in January, a regional that Jeff and Brandy put on in Indianapolis, January 25th to 27th. I know some of you are going to be there, and I can't wait to meet you because I'll be there too. And we are presenting the Launch Free Enterprise Summit. This is financial language and mindset. We need that, don't we? We need that to get along in the world. So look forward to that. The last event, people had breakthroughs, tremendous. It was just wonderful. In case y'all don't know Jeff, he has a huge background. Not only is he a John Maxwell certified trainer and speaker, which is why we can bring to you the Leadership University, bring to you those classes, but he also has tremendous experience in network marketing, even more than me. I was a full-time network marketer for years, helped me raise my son as a single mom. But Jeff has done it on steroids. He has personally recruited over 500 people frontline, built 2 teams of over 5,000. His team had 5 of the top 10 recruits in the state. His company, his teams have produced over 10 million in sales. And his team for 4 years was one of the top 25 for recruiting in the country in his company. So lots of very good background. Mine is in network marketing, but even heavier on the therapist side, on the counselor, and on the coaching side. I help people to not only learn the skills of network marketing for the last 10 years, but also help people to make breakthroughs in negative beliefs and fears. Just working with a lady today who knows that she has to work through those things before even learning the skills are going to work in her business. So very valuable. You can contact either of us for any private coaching, but now you know our background. And we met about 4 years ago on Eric Worre's page. This year, got a chance to talk to Jeff even more, realized I just love his methods, and asked him to come into the school and teach and bring this to everybody, because I'm committed to bringing the very best that I know, and I've studied a lot of the teachers out there. So this generic training is for all levels, this Quick Start Basics, whether you're starting or whether you've been in a long time, whether your focus is customers or recruits or becoming that leader to develop that residual income. This truly helps you to build a team and lay a good foundation for yourself and make money and bring this information to your team and be able to train them. So this class is where you connect with people, interact, have fun along with the education, helps you to stay on track. The 10 core commitments, that's what this class is. Number 1, get started right. Number 2, be here a year from now. That's about commitment, because you repeat that every year. Number 3, personal development. Number 4, market daily, which is tonight. That's what we're covering tonight, market daily. Number 5 is present daily. And number 6, attend a weekly presentation. Number 7, attend a weekly core training, which you're doing right now. That's what this is. Number 8, attend a monthly regional. Number 9, attend all company conventions. Number 10, have a monthly action plan. So that is the 10. We usually cover briefly all the 10, then we dive into one of them. So tonight is at number 4, the market daily. So how do you find people? How do you connect with them? How do you invite them to look at your business? Pretty important stuff tonight. Jeff, I'll turn it over to you at this point, and we can dive in.
Okay, guys. Just to be good on time, we're at 9:23, so we've burnt through a lot of time. I apologize about the slow start there. We'll get that all fixed up. In the future, making sure we were out of town, so I haven't downloaded. Normally I download. Bess is on me right away to get those downloads and get those out. So we have last week's to get out, and that's a good thing because when you're trying to do too many things at once, you do forget. So getting right into this, I want to kind of burn through again the 10 core because the 10 core is really what this is all about, and then we focus on the back half. One of these issues, and I'm just bringing my phone up here so I can set a timer to be good about this here. Timer, stopwatch, timer, world clock, stopwatch, timer, bam. Okay, so we've got about 20 minutes to run through this, so I'm just setting the clocks, that way we get that done. The 10 core, number 1, getting started right, boiled down to make it simple, is you want to do this for yourself. You want to make a list of 10 people. You want to have the correct contact and invite. You want to physically present to them. And the reason behind this, you have to understand the philosophy of why I was taught to do it this way and why I do it this way and why it's worked so well, is simply because I found to influence another human being, you have to be clear in the message you're basically sending. You want to be clear, you want to be concise, and you want to be confident. Those 3 things. Those are the 3 things that will produce the 3 results everybody wants. There's 3 results everybody wants. And if you don't know what these 3 results are, you want to write these down so that way you have these 3 results. The number 1 result is, and this comes from the idea of education, is the result of a referral. I would love to have a referral. And what I've found is it's impossible to get a referral if people don't know what you do. Now, sending people to a video does not necessarily give them enough information to refer you. In fact, in most cases, statistically, they don't watch the video. And if they don't watch the video, they cannot refer you a customer. They cannot refer you a recruit. In fact, they really can't refer you anything other than telling their friends, do not answer the phone or a text message or whatever, because Jane, Sally, Joe, Bob, Jim, Jeff is involved in another one of those things, and they're starting to spam me again with all of their messages, which is what we're going to talk about tonight on the marketing side. So the idea is education. We're going to educate people on what we do, and the very simple reason is we're looking for these 3 things. Number 1 is a referral, number 2 is a customer, and number 3 is a recruit. Now, what I will tell you is there's 10,000 ways to get a customer, and there's probably 10,000 ways, there's probably more than that, ways, things that have been said in the past to be able to get recruits, and there's probably thousands and thousands and thousands of ways to get referrals. What I was looking for when I was building the business is not only what worked, not only what duplicated, but what was the best, most professional way to do it. What was the best, most professional way to do it? Because one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to come off like I knew what I was doing and like I was a professional, but I wanted to be simple enough where it raised the standard inside the industry. Because I'll be real honest, the standard inside the industry is not real high. I think in a lot of cases we rank right up there in between used car salesmen, snake oil, QVC. That's how a lot of people view the industry. And when you come across with the, oh, I'm super excited, you need to join my thing, you're just basically, perpetuating that stereotype of a bunch of non-educated people, non-professional people, spamming people. Not exactly the most attractive way to go about building a business, right? So it comes from the idea of education. It's number one. So that way we educate people so we can get referrals, we educate people so we can get customers, and the ultimate is we educate people so that way they become reps of our company. We do this through marketing, not sales, marketing. And here's what I can tell you. Recruiting, the art of recruiting, has an aspect of sales to it, but just because you're a great salesperson does not make you a great recruiter. In fact, in a lot of cases, they don't transfer at all, simply because a lot of great salespeople are one-time closers. They can force a lot of people's hands to close, but they can never get anybody to show up and do anything thereafter, which doesn't make you a great recruiter, right? So if you want to build a team, that's what this is about. I come at this from the aspect of I'm a team builder. I want to build an organization, and the reason why I want to build an organization is because I'm not interested in making $10, $5, $16, $22 off of a product. Because if I really just wanted to sell, and I tell this to people all the time, if you just want to sell products, go sell high-ticket items, because the contact, invite, present, follow-up, and close is exactly the same when you make $16 or if you make $16,000 in a real estate transaction. It's the exact same process. What would you rather be making? So it just didn't make any sense to me at all to beat my brains in to go sell a bottle or a package or a fruit drink or a shake or a lemonade stand kind of a thing, or, special water that, we have so many different products in the industry. There's technology products, there's credit repair products, but if you really understand the industry, a big portion of it is weight loss and weight management and health and that side, and then there's another side that's very heavy, that's skincare, and then there's everything else. So basically almost 90% of the industry is those two categories, and there's 10% that's everything else. So if you're really looking to make money in a space, you kind of look at all that and say, okay, where do I want to fit in? What do I like? And that's where it really boils down to. Do you like the company, the product, what you're doing? Does it make sense? And are there a lot of people who are going to go after it? So we educate these 10 people. So this is what I take people through. We make a list of 10. We teach them, here's what our goal is. Our goal is to get these 3 things. Number 1, a referral. Number 2, a customer. Number 3, a recruit. Does that make sense? People are like, yeah. And I said, so what I'm going to do is if I want those 3, I have to contact people in a way where I can achieve all 3 of those. The way that I found to do that is basically through a 10-minute presentation. And the reason I like a 10-minute presentation is because it allows me to say everything I need to say to move to the next step, which is, are you, asking the question, now that you know what we do, are you one of those 3 things, really? Are you going to help me refer? Do you have some interest in the product, or do you have some interest in making money at this? And if they do, I just lead them to the next step. But they know up front. I say, hey, do me a favor. I just met a lady who owns 6 BNI franchises. BNI is Business Network International. They have thousands and thousands of people. I want to say they have 7,000, nearing 8,000 chapters around the world. A chapter is basically built of an individual person that basically goes out and gets this referral network, and it's all one category or one profession per group inside that group. So they're very specific in what they do. They show up weekly. So she owns 6 of these franchises, and she's like, I've never had a problem with network marketers who are upfront about what they're doing. But do not trick me into meeting. Do not send me, spam me a bunch of stuff. Just be direct and honest. And we had this whole conversation about this, and I said, let me share with you how I'm doing this. And she's like, wow, we need to bring you to our national chapter. In fact, network marketing, this is why I want to raise the standard of what we do. Network marketing has such a bad name in parts of Canada. They do not allow network marketers into BNI in certain parts of the country. They won't let them in, because the standard is so low and the teaching in our industry is so horrible that she's like, oh yeah, when I went there in Australia, it was the same thing. She's like, there were certain chapters they just will not allow network marketers at all because their marketing and their strategies are so terrible inside those groups. We don't want it. And I said, that's sad. She's like, I don't have a problem with them, but that's what the industry has. So that's why what I'm doing is so important to me, because that's what a lot of people run into. And here's the thing. You can't be faulted for something you don't know, right? I mean, if you didn't know, you didn't know. You can't fix that. But what I want to do is, fix that by starting people out this way. The second thing is be doing the right things for at least a year. I was told you want to be here a year from now. And I said, well, you said that last week. He's like, right, you want to be here a year from now. And I said, well, that means a year from now you're going to say be here a year from now. He's like, exactly. You want to keep telling people it's going to take a year to kind of learn it. And then what's the funny thing is once you have learned it over the course of a year and you've brought new people in, what do they need to do? I said, well, they need to be here for a year. He goes, correct. So it's year after year after year the same stuff, because the basics of building the business will pretty much always stay the same. Here's what differs. How you get people there. So the technology side. What I believe is high tech is built for one reason. High tech is built to go high touch. High tech leads to high touch. And what that means is high tech is a text message, a Facebook message, an Instagram message. It doesn't matter where they come from, but once they come in, you're basically using high touch, which is you physically having a conversation with a person. Now, a lot of people like the belly-to-belly. I love that, but that's not necessarily always the best way to go about it. Because the phone is so much easier and faster. What I want to do is I want to use technology to get in front of as many people as possible. I want to use the phone to present as many times as possible. And then I want to use basically my time that I have to actually meet with people. When I'm meeting with somebody, we're signing up. They're signing up because they already went from I know what it is to I know about it to I've done the research about it. Now it's time to ask the final questions. Hey, if everything else is solved, are you ready to get started now, or, what's a good time? But you have to be here a year from now to understand the dynamics of everything that's going on. Because even at this point, hearing this stuff for a decade, I can tell you I still will, listen and go back through my notes on this, and I'll be like, well, there's another connect the dots that I had there, and I might have been saying it, but I understand it at a much deeper level, because now that it duplicates down far enough, I'm seeing it in a different situation. Because now I'm going at it from the idea of the teacher of the teacher of the teacher, if that makes sense. So that's number two. Number three is personal development. There's many people that said network marketing is nothing more than personal development wrapped around a comp plan and a product. And that's what I found that people get out of network marketing more than anything, is really the personal development side of the business. Personal development and professional development. So professional development is the skill behind building. That's what I find. The skill behind building, understanding the business, things like that. And then there's the personal development side is all the little things you need to work on to be an attractive, influential person. And I don't mean like attractive physically, although sometimes we need to do some things, to make ourselves more attractive, because that has a lot to do with attracting people, right? They say, dress it up, dress sharp. I had a friend that was like, cut it up, zip it up. He had all these funny things. Cut it up, zip it up, shine it up, polish it up, brush it up, teeth, hair, everything. And he's like, you might need to do. He's like, you want to have breath mints if, you don't want to have dragon breath and, things coming out your ears and your nose and everything else. You just want to, make sure all that's taken care of. Why? Because we're in a business of attracting people. And you can love people to death, but if you're a mess, that's not attractive to the outside. So you want to be think about this. The more attractive you are to the outside, the easier it is to build. So why would you not want to put yourself in the best situation possible to be able to build if you're in a business like this? You wouldn't open a tire shop where there are no cars. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Although you would have a great opportunity to market to a lot of people. You're like, what if you got a car? Maybe you should be in the car business first. So that's number 3 is personal development. Number 4 is market daily. We're going to talk about that tonight. Number 5 is present daily. That's where we get into the details of, you know, how do you present? What are you trying to get across? There's all kinds of little 1% things, how to identify, you know, the person and their personality and why they'd get in, why they'd buy. There's a lot to that. But in the beginning, you just need to cover the basics. What are the basics? There's 5 things to presenting. Number 1 is the company and the company history. Number 2 is the need in the marketplace. Number 3 is the product or service itself, what it's about, why people would want to use it. Number 4 is the compensation, and there's basic stuff to compensation. We're not talking about understanding PV and BV and upline and downline and binaries and, you know, tri-levels and single levels and, you know, all these weird terms in our businesses, you know, the diamond bonus and the EDC bonus and the executive bonus and the check matching bonus. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Hey guys, there's a couple different ways you can do this. You can do it retail. You can do it wholesale. There's a preferred customer. There's 2 kinds of reps. There's like a wholesale rep. They don't want to build anything. They don't want to be on calls. They just want the discount. And then there's, you know, getting in to actually build and make money. And there's 7 ways to make money. There's 30 ways to make money. Whatever your company has, there's all these ways to make money. If you want to learn about that, we'll talk about that another time. Just, there's some people, guys, there's people making, I like to say it this way, there's people making $1,000 a month doing this. There's people making $1,000 a week. There's some people making $1,000 a day. And there are some, there's going to be some unique individuals that will probably make $1,000 an hour doing this 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But there's going to be a handful of them. So I can prove to you the first 3. I'm just saying the vision is they're going to create somebody that does $1,000 an hour. 24 hours, 24 grand a day. It's going to happen. So the 5th thing is the timing and the talent. The talent is the people involved. The timing is where the company's at right now. Those are the 5 things for number 5, which is present daily. Number 6, attend an open house. You want to attend, watch this. You want to see people present your business that are better than you so you can pick up all of their style, tricks, things that they say, their philosophy. You want to watch the best presenters. So every single week, even if you don't have an event in your area, watch somebody in your company present. It helps you. It helps you, and get your people to watch it. Get together and say, hey, we're doing a pizza night. Hey, we're doing Instapot. Instapots, there's a lot of those being sold right now. We're doing a crock pot dinner on Tuesday. Everybody come over. We're going to watch this presentation, however it works for you. Get somebody in your upline to present to a group of people and do it every week and organize it and find somebody else who can present. If they're terrible, you say, and you build the person up, you're like, man, this business is so good, you can even present it terribly and it works. Just forewarn them. 7 is a core training like this. You want a core training like this to go over the basics every single week. That's number 8. That's number 7. 7. Core training. Number 8, a regional. A regional is a local event that's one day. It's a local event. That's what a regional is. A regional is a one day, maybe it's a couple hours, an afternoon, maybe a morning to afternoon. It's usually a one-day event. They happen regionally around the country. That's number 8 in the system, in this 10 core. And you basically want to, you want to show up early. You want to show up on time. I say within 5 to 6 hours, you want to be able to drive there and be able to drive back in one day. And then there's conventions. Number 9 is conventions. Attend, your conventions. Attend all your company's conventions. And then we have conventions. I put together 4 conventions a year, and that's what it is. It's really a convention because it's all weekend. It starts on Friday. It's all Saturday. It's part Sunday. Do you have to stay for all of it? No. You can get a lot out of one day, but that is a convention. It is a whole weekend. It's where you basically say, hey, look, I'm going to take some time off. I'm going to take some time away from everything else I'm doing to basically immerse myself to get it all, to soak it all in. And what I've been taught is basically you run from convention to convention in about 90-day sprints. You run convention to convention, about 90-day sprints to take it all in, soak it all up. The last thing is a map, a massive action plan, and that's some of what I go over every single month. Every single month I go over this. A massive action plan to basically be able to understand, what am I focused on? What are my numbers? I'm tracking. I'm tracking, how I'm getting people started, who got in, how many people got started, what they do. I'm tracking who's been in the system for a while. You know, part 2, am I here? Am I showing up right? Am I showing up with a good attitude? What's going on? Number 3, personal development. I'm tracking. What am I reading? What am I learning? What videos did I watch? I'm tracking. I'm tracking my marketing. I'm tracking my presentations. I'm tracking how many people I got to the open house. I'm tracking how many people were on core training. I'm tracking people to regional. I'm tracking people who bought tickets to the next event. That's what the massive action plan is about. It's about setting goals and tracking what's going on, because we want to inspect what we expect. Because if we don't inspect what we expect, basically you're guessing at your business. And there's a whole lot of people in the industry who are just running the guessing game. I'm like, hey, what are your numbers on this? I don't know. I don't know. I'm like, well, if you don't know that, I bet I can guess your income within a few $100s. People are like, you're a genius. I'm like, no, I've just been around a while. I mean, you know, you'd probably be able to guess my income if I was a real estate agent not tracking anything. You could guess how many closings I do. Just look at the national average. How many people are on the team? How many people are you bringing on a regular basis? Guys, there is a math formula to this. That's what I love about, network marketing. There is a math formula. Even if you do it badly, there's a math formula. So that was my timer. That is the 10 core and what it's about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this back over to Bess for some thoughts on that, and then we're going to move on to the second part, so that way we have a full time frame to talk about marketing and how you want to be marketing your business, especially coming into 2019, because it's probably more important than ever because of what's going on in the world and here in the United States and technology. Bess, back to you. Bess, for some reason, I tried to unmute you, and you will not unmute.
Got it. I think because I muted myself. Okay, so thank you, Jeff. Just real quick, what you're about to hear from the Market Daily is in your book, the Always Get a Yes book. That is in every email that I send out. There's a link there, so just look on pages 5 to 12 of that book, and you will see the favor script that he's going to share tonight and the follow-up and all of that. So this is what we're about to share with you now is how to set people up to hear your presentation. In other words, it's about inviting, but it's also reaching the people, contacting them, and everything. So rest assured that is written down for you, and I'll turn it back over to you, Jeff.
Okay, guys, we're going to talk about 2 kinds of marketing. We're going to talk about internal marketing and external marketing. And we're going to go over like the basics, and then we're going to go over advanced, so that way you guys get it all. Here's the basics. In the beginning, you want to market daily to the outside. That's called the external. The external is people who do not know what you do. They don't know what you do. So what my friend used to say is, guys, the only thing we do in this business is take people from not knowing to knowing. I was like, that makes it pretty easy, right? We just take people from not knowing to knowing. But what I found is how you go about doing that, how you go about introducing what you do, has everything to do with the results you get on the other side. For instance, I could let people know what I'm doing by going out to the street corner, dressed in a swimsuit in winter, with a hat and gloves and a swimsuit on, freezing cold, with a sign that says, I'm in this company. That would be some external marketing that would get seen because I'm near an interstate, close enough where I could probably get in the car and be there in about 2 minutes. And I know for a fact there's about 100,000 cars that pass that way every day. And what some people do is, for some reason, because they don't know anything about marketing, they start trying to think that faster and more exposure, and again, we say this in the business a lot, and it's kind of one of those little white lies in the business that, you know, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, and that's absolutely a lie. And you can't say the wrong thing to the right person, and you know you want to talk less to more people. Well, yes and no. You do want to talk to more people, but saying less doesn't necessarily mean you're saying the right thing to begin with. If you're saying the wrong thing, saying less of it is not going to help you. So here's what I found. The best way to external market is to educate people on what you do in a way that will ultimately produce those three things that we want: referrals, customers, and reps. When I say reps, distributors, people who sign up in your business, and whether they sign up for one of the three reasons they sign up. I'm sorry there's so many like lists and numbers, but you really want to understand this. There's three reasons why people sign up. The number one reason in the industry why people sign up in companies is to get a discount. That's it. They want a discount. And it's slightly more than the other two. It's like 33, 31, 28. And I don't know if those numbers add up perfectly to 100, but I know it's really close. There's some other little hundredths of percentages on the back side of those three numbers, but that's basically what the direct sales. Guys, that's not me. That's not my research. That's not my company's research. That's the direct sales organization of the world. The WF, World Foundation or World Federation. It's World Federation Direct Sales Association. That's their numbers. Why people sign up. Now, here's another statistic that I learned, because people are like, you got to group people together because that's the way that everybody gets in. I'm like, no, it's not. Not if you look at statistics. I love when people would tell me that, and then I'd be like, do you know what the statistics are worldwide on how that works, or even in the United States? So like, no. I'm like, so you're basically blindly repeating some crap somebody told you that may not be correct. And they're like, yeah, I never thought of that. I was like, well, let me give you the statistic, and then you tell me. They're like, okay. I'm like, in the United States, about 70% of people sign up on a one-on-one. 70%. So here's how I looked at that. Out of 10 people who sign up, or I'm sorry, out of 10 people that see the presentation, out of 7 that sign up, I said that wrong. So 7 people sign up out of 10. People who sign up one-on-one. Approximately 2.5 people, or I think it was 2.8 when I read this last. 2.8 people. I don't know how you get an eighth of a person. But you know, there's a big number and then they boil it down. But let's just say 2 people. 2 people sign up at a group presentation. Now, let's talk about what the definition of a group is, because here's what I found. I found people always talked about these big meetings. You need to have a big meeting. You need to get everybody there. Here's what not only the Direct Sales Association of the United States, but also the World Federation Direct Sales Association said a group is. A group is 3 people or more. But you know what the average group in the industry is? 3 people. 3 prospects. 3. Not 25, 3. I always had this image because I heard stories of these people that got in and had 25 people at their first event. And that sounds really, really, really great. But if you only have 5 close friends, here's what you're telling people: you can't do this. That's what you're really saying to them. You can't do this. And that's how people are thinking. I don't know if you ever thought that, but I thought, I couldn't do that. I don't have 25 friends that would show up. So, again, I go back to these numbers and these statistics just to understand how it really works. So if 7 out of 10 people who get in on a one-on-one, and let's just say 2 out of 10 get in at a group, 3 or more, and then one person signs up because they, watched a video, they have no idea who the upline is, they have no idea who the company is, they just heard about it by accident, and they sign up without any contact at all. It's actually like 0.2%, so I'm sure to get that 0.2%, it's like out of 1,000 people that sign up. Think about this. Out of 1,000 people that sign up, here's what the real numbers really look like. There's 1,000 people who signed up. 700 of them signed up on a one-on-one. About 280 signed up in a group. And about 20 people signed up because they have no idea. They just found it online. So if you look by statistic, now that's inside the United States. Watch this. When you go outside the world, when you go outside the United States, I'm sorry. If you go outside the world and you're recruiting people on Mars, we need to talk because, you have a different strategy and I want in, right, Jim? Jim and I are like, we'll be front row to that meeting. Bess and I will be there, Brandy, with the notebook. If you're recruiting people outside this planet, you're doing something different. But outside the United States, here's what the numbers are. 80% of people sign up on a one-on-one, and 20% sign up in a group. So it actually increases outside the country for one-on-one. So when people are like, yeah, but how does this work when you get to other countries? Like, it works even better. Here's what else it told me. For every 3 one-on-ones you do where you recruit somebody, for every 3 recruits, you'll probably get a what? You'll probably end up doing a group meeting where somebody can get 3 people together. So when I learned this, I was like, you know what? We just need to go from one-on-one to one-on-one to one-on-one much, much faster. How long does it take to set up a one-on-one? About 60 seconds. Text 10 people this. Hey, what's going on? Hope you had a great Christmas. Always acknowledge where things are at. Hey, what's going on? Hope you had a great Christmas. Hope everything's well. Be a normal person. If you're not a normal person, follow these exact instructions and you'll appear to be normal. Because some people were like, just be yourself. Just go out there. I was like, being yourself is the last thing you need to do. If you're not attractive to begin with, and some people don't know they're not attractive, and I don't mean attractive physically, I mean attractive in marketing. Hey, what's going on? How was Christmas? Let them respond. It was great. How about yours? Say, it was really good, but I need a favor. And then you're just going to keep typing. You're not waiting for them to respond. I need a favor. I need to share with you what I'm working on outside of my normal job, outside of my normal work, outside of what I normally do. A couple different variations just depending on what your background is. Like if Jim full-time doesn't have a traditional job, he can say, I need to tell you what I'm doing outside of keeping bees and real estate and everything else. I've added something else, and people are like, well, that's crazy. Yes, it is, but here's the reason why I want to tell you about it. So if you ran into the right person, you could refer me. I'm not kidding. People all the time are like, okay, cool. Like, what are you doing? I've had people say, I'd be happy to hear about that and refer you. Why? Because I go out of my way to try to help people to begin with. And I learned this from some of my mentors. They used to go out of their way to help people. And it doesn't matter. It's simple if it's like opening a door for somebody, or, just kind of common courtesy stuff that isn't too common anymore. I mean, when you see somebody wait on somebody or help somebody out, it's almost rare now. Most of the time what's sensationalized online is somebody like going crazy at McDonald's because they got the fry order wrong, or somebody freaks out because they got, not enough onion rings, and there's a fight that breaks out. That's what we're seeing. We don't see people who go out of their way to help people, open a door for somebody, make sure that everything's out of the way so somebody maybe who's disabled or with a wheelchair or has a walker can get by. Most of us are down in our phones just paying attention to what we're doing. We're so self-involved, we're missing what's going on right around us within 3 feet. So because I always went out of my way to help people, if somebody says, hey, I don't feel well, I'll send them a message. Hey, I hope you feel better. What's going on? Maybe, maybe there's something I can share that will help you recover faster. If somebody says, hey, I'm depressed, you know, hey, here's a joke. I send out a lot of jokes, a lot of comedy, and people really appreciate that. You know, I have friends that deal with some chronic illnesses. They're not willing to change. They just have chronic illnesses, and they love their illnesses because they get a lot of attention from their illness. So I'll send them jokes, and they're like, oh, my gosh, I love your stuff. You're always funny. All the stuff you send, it's always funny. It's always fun. There's a reason why. First of all, I like it. You know, I like it, and I want to share it, but also because it's more attractive than sharing garbage. Because there's so much garbage out there. I stand out in front of a lot of people simply because I don't share what everybody else shares. And then I get, sure, I'll help you out. Then it's just when. Are you available right now? Can you talk on the phone? No, I'm at work. When are you done? I'm done at 5. 5 is probably not a good time. Do you have a long drive home, or is later at night better, or right when you get off work? Like, what are you doing? I just find a time. I said, we only need 10 minutes. I just want to share with you. Well, can you just text it to me? No. Nah, you know, it wouldn't make sense. I mean, it's something really we should talk about. I haven't talked to you in a while anyway, so it'd just be good to hear your voice. People are like, you really use that? Yep. Yep. People are like, well, that sounds too simple. And then, you know, people are like, well, I don't know what my 10-minute presentation is. Well, if you learned it, think about how fast you could go. Well, I could do 10 presentations a day. Yeah, you could. You could do it this way. You could do, I think my record is 13 presentations like this in one day. When I realized I just had to speed up the time, I'm like, this would be cool. You know, we could really rock this out. External marketing is I am letting people know what I do. At the end of that, what I want to do is I want to categorize them into the 4 categories. The 4 categories are, don't ever talk to me again. 1 out of every 1,000 people maybe that I've talked to is that category. I'm not interested in this. I hate this. I hate you. I hate sun. I hate night. I hate winter. I hate summer. I hate people. I hate breathing. Some people just hate everything. And there's no reason to keep the process. Well, how do I overcome that objection of them hating everything? It's simple. Go find somebody else. I just go find somebody else. Like, guys, I don't have a special technique. You don't have a special technique. The millionaires don't have a special technique. You know, these people are just plain negative. They don't want success for you or anybody else. There's a difference between I'm not interested and I hate everybody. The next category of people, but the I'm not interested at all and I don't ever want to talk about it again, very small category. The next category is, sure, I'll refer you. Great, can I keep you up to date with what's going on? Yes. That's a group of people that I want to start an internal marketing campaign. What is an internal marketing campaign? An internal marketing campaign is probably once a week, maybe every other week, where I just stay in touch with them and let them know how things are going. I might send them a testimonial. I might send them whatever new product came out. I might send them a video. I might send them a picture. Usually I try to send them something funny. That's internal marketing. People are like, well, this sounds like a lot of work. Do you want to make $5 in the course of your network marketing career, or do you want to make $500,000? Because that's what we're talking about, these differences. Well, I just want to sit at home and I just want to send out websites. Great, let me know how that works for you. I've talked to hundreds of people, probably nearing thousands of people who struggle because they're trying to do things as easy, as simple, and as cheap as they can. And what I found is if you try to work as simple, as easy, and as cheap as you can, you typically will get back those 3 things. Something that's simple, something that's easy, and something that's cheap, you'll get nothing back because you're not putting anything in. Simple, I mean, that's like a basic principle, right? Sow and reap. Talk to a farmer. Next group of people, outside referrals, customers. Again, I want to constantly keep in touch with customers. I want to know that they got their product and they liked it, and I want any kind of response, any kind of testimonial that's good. Because what I'll do is I'll use those testimonials to share with the people who aren't in, to share with the people who are in, to keep the process going. Testimonials. Most businesses have testimonials. If you're in skincare, testimonials are easy. If you're in weight loss or health, testimonials are easy. If you're in credit repair, testimonials are easy. If you're in, financial services, testimonials are easy. Hey, I help people get people out of debt. This guy got out of debt. This guy bought a house. This guy bought a car. This guy retired somebody. I mean, testimonials pretty easy. You're just sharing the good. Share the good stuff that happens. Pretty simple. Do not exaggerate. Don't blow it out of proportion. Make it pretty simple. And the last thing is, what do you do with the recruits that get in? You share with them the same process. Internal marketing is the people you've already talked to who know what you do. One group might not have gotten in yet. One group is internal customers that, and initially you can keep them on a list like this. I would suggest Google. Google has a free system called Gmail. And Gmail will allow you to add contacts, and you just add contacts to groups. You set up a group. Just like a Facebook. You could, watch this, you could actually set up a Facebook group. Wow. Facebook group for people you've shown it to, just to update them on what's going on. Can I add you to my Facebook group to show you all the testimonials and results? Yeah, sure. Customers that get in. So I have a referral group, I have a customer group, and I have a rep group. Pretty simple. And I just add them. Hey, can I add you? Well, just ask them. Can I add you? Don't add them. Do not add people to groups that don't ask to be added. But if I ask them and they say yes, say sure. Now you're tracking what's going on. It's a lot easier. Now you're like, well, who did I talk to? Oh, it's in the group. Pretty simple. How do I create a Facebook group? There's this amazing free person called Google. I don't know if it's male or female, but Google will answer that question for you. YouTube will give you a video of somebody probably that's under the age of 16 that will teach you how to do it and make you feel stupid. Because I always watch those videos, I feel stupid after I watch them. They're like, this is how you do this. For those older people who don't, and I'll be watching the video and taking notes, and I'm like, yeah. But I'm smart enough to learn from people who know how to do it, which is why you can learn something from anybody. But here's what I want to do. I want to share kind of a live example of, and I'm going to give you guys a testimonial of somebody who started out in the network marketing field, basically being taught all this craziness, randomness, and then we met, and they started learning like stuff that worked, and they'll be able to tell you what the results are. So what I want to do is, Brandy, you want to come in here and switch me seats? Now you get to hear story time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over to my significant other, somebody who I've watched not only work hard, but like pick this stuff up. I mean, some people pick it up really fast. This person picked it up really, really fast. And was so good at it, I realized everybody has different talents. Her ability to kind of put the content out, the artwork behind it, we're not really going to get into that much artwork because she not only does it network marketing, but does it for our traditional business. And I don't want to share too much about the traditional business because that stuff isn't the stuff that necessarily you need to know or will duplicate. Like, you want to do that once you're running an organization and a team, you'll probably hire somebody to do that. But she has a talent for it, so I'm going to turn this over to Brandy.
All right, hope everybody's doing well tonight. And like Jeff said, we ended up meeting in a network marketing company. So the first company I got into, it was when I was in college, and it was the thing that where network marketing has their bad trainings. Like this company had the worst trainings ever looking back. I actually kind of laugh at it now, because I was like, wow, that was so bad, it's actually funny now, unless I see other people doing it. So they were telling me, go tell all your friends and family, go harass people at Walmart, tell everybody, hey, I'm super excited. Nobody was teaching us anything other than just be really excited and all the things that Jeff was telling you about of just being yourself. But at the time, I really was not a very attractive person. My mother was actually a very business savvy woman, and she was very respected in the community, but I did not have that influence yet. So I kind of picked up a lot of things from her, but I needed a lot more fine-tuning. So once I actually met Jeff, and he started teaching me all these things, like the Do Me a Favor script, just that script by itself really changed a lot of things for me, because before I was messaging people on Facebook or calling them being like, oh my God, I'm so excited, I just got into this thing. They're like, okay, well, what is it? Well, I can't tell you because I'm not allowed to tell you. I actually need to have you talk to the person who signed me up so they can tell you what I'm doing. It sounds really weird. So when he taught me the Do Me a Favor script, it was completely different. So when I called a friend and I'm like, hey, at the time I was working in a coffee shop. I was a barista. So I was like, hey, I just started working on something outside of the coffee shop. I want you to take a look at what I'm doing, so that way if you run into the right person, you can refer me. And I wasn't quite sure how this was going to work out for me, and so when they came back, they're like, yeah, no problem. What do you want? What is it? And I'm like, oh. I'm like, I was not expecting that reply, and I'm like, oh, well, okay. I'm like, well, do you have 5 minutes to talk with me? And she's like, yeah, sure. Like, get me on the phone. And Jeff actually taught me the presentation before, and he's like, if you're going to sit down and show people, he's like, I can talk to people, but I want you to show them the presentation first, and then once they look at the presentation at the end, so on a scale of 1 to 10, 1, you can refer me, 10, you actually have an interest in this, where are you? And she's like, well, I'm an 8. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, do you have any questions, like how can I get you from that 8 to a 10? She's like, well, I just want to know a little bit more of how this money works. And I'm like, great, I have somebody that I could get you on the phone with who I'm working with, and he can explain more in detail of how exactly this works. And I got her on the phone. So then I referred her to third party. So with using these steps, it goes more smoothly, and it's way more effective. I don't hook somebody up. Like, my biggest pet peeve now is people will talk to me, be like, this is everything that I do. Here's a video, or here, I want you to talk to my upline. And I'm like, I don't even know what you do. And most times I don't even know these people. And it just comes across in such a bad way. People immediately step back and they're like, I don't want to do this. I don't know what you're doing, but I don't want to do it. But when you ask, hey, could you do me a favor? People like to help. And that's just human nature. People like to help. So when you bring it across that way, nobody is coming across standoff, and they do want to help you. How are we doing on time?
We're good. We have like 20 minutes left.
Okay, perfect. So that's what I got started in, is just doing all that. And then once I got good enough, I started training the rest of the team in how to do the presentation and the third party. Is there anything else you really want me to talk about?
It's up to you. If you have any tips to share about marketing, what else you like to do, okay, internal or external, keeping in touch with people.
So a little tip that I like to use with external marketing, because I do have a lot of, Jeff and I know a lot of the same people, so whenever we've gone to work on something, he'll actually go and work on our internal, and I work on external. I'm very good at grabbing new people, and what I mean by grabbing new people, I actually go meet new people online or out and about when we're out in public. So the ways that I like to do that is I like to post daily. I do a quote of the day, I'll post an article, and then I talk about something. So I'll present my presentation on a Facebook Live every single day, in which that pushes out all my content. And then I'll actually go online and I'll comment on people's posts. So I go look at people who are following things that I like and then liking my stuff, and people that I see, like I'll do this for our holistic health page, people that I see that are constantly commenting on my stuff or liking my posts, I'll actually go start a conversation with them. Or if somebody new follows my page, I'm like, hey, I see you followed my page. How are you today? You just want to start a conversation. I never send my link in the first conversation. ever. As soon as people see a link, they delete it. Bess is giving a thumbs up. Bess is actually one of my #1 people who are commenting on my posts every day. Bess is so good at doing this, and she not only does it on her page, but she does it on people who are following her as well. And Bess is so good at doing this, and she is consistent. And that's what people remember. So, and I did actually sign up somebody by doing this, by having a conversation with somebody online. I was like, hey, how are you? I see that you followed my page. How are you doing today? And I went through this step-by-step conversation. I went through form. So with form, I'm sure you probably heard with Bess and Jeff before, is where I use friendly, occupation, recreation, and the message. And I go through those steps to be able to share with them what I do. And I'm like, hey, you seem like somebody that, like, I have a lot in common with you. Would you mind getting on the phone with me so that way I could share with you what I do and you share with me what you do, so that way we can give each other referrals? And he actually ended up liking what we were doing, and he ended up signing up with me a week later, which is pretty sweet. So it does work. So it works with people who are friends, family, people you know, and people that you don't know. This person was states away, like never knew me before, only knew me online, and it does work. But since I took that extra time to get to know him and to create a relationship with him, that was what it took. And that's what people are looking for. So, and let's see, what other... So I do that, and then it's just, I do follow up with people, but I never follow up with people more than twice. I don't get a phone call back after a second time calling or messaging them, hey, just wanted to follow up with you and to see if you watched a video. If I don't hear from them after that, I move on to the next person. So many people spend too much time fixated on one person, like this person is going to sign up. My first company, I waited 8 months for a lady to sign up and only fixated on her and never moved on to the next person because everybody was like, no, 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 just keep working on her, just keep working on her, when really I should have moved on. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it that I have. That was my big experience the first time I went into a company, but it really did make that huge difference when I started taking all these lessons and applying them to my business. And then you can actually apply them into traditional business as well, because with me learning these techniques, I've been able to pull it into the holistic health business as well. So with that, I think I am done, and I'm going to let Jeff jump back up on here.
Awesome. So that way, you guys know we do work as a team. It's not just me. It's usually, I mean, she's brought in so many great people. That's just the way that it works. I'm going to turn this back over to Bess, and then we're going to open up the lines, because people have a lot of questions when it comes to marketing. Well, what do I use? Do I use Facebook? Do I use Instagram? Should you use this? You know, and people start talking to me about platforms I've never heard. So sometimes it's just really good to get out questions about how to market, where to market, when to market, what to say. It really needs to be more of an open discussion. I think we've ran through the basics of it. Internal and external marketing is the main thing I want you guys to know about. But people have specific questions. You know, they've heard about programs and stuff, and I just want to go over those. I'm going to open this up to Bess, and then we'll open it up to questions.
Okay, thanks. That was just so good. So the difference that Jeff is talking about and Brandy are talking about, besides just sending something out to people, is connecting with them first. So you make that connection. You don't just blast out, but you develop, you warm it up with FORM or D before you ask them the favor script. So with Jeff was mentioning about internal marketing. Staying in touch with people by sending out a quote, a joke, or a photo or video or something like that people are interested. They like that. Another thing that they really, really like is following them on their Facebook page. So if you really want to be in touch with somebody, just go to their Facebook page, see what they are posting that day, and comment, like, or share. People get very flattered when you read what they wrote, or even if you go to their profile and read what they wrote about themselves, because they took the time to put that out there. And I'd say 2/3 of the people do describe themselves on the About page, and you can then refer to something. Today, I happened to check somebody out, a new person who was on our Facebook Live today, and so I began a conversation with her, and I found something on her Facebook page that it was a quote that I always say too. You know, it's about health and food. Let thy food be thy medicine be thy food, by Hippocrates. So I just was quoting that the other day, and I like saying that a lot. It's one of the things I live by. So I noticed that she was also into natural health. I think she was a naturopathic doctor. I said, hey, Brandon and Jeff are naturopathic doctors, and I'm a holistic health practitioner. This is a quote that I use all the time, the quote that she put on her About page. So it meant a lot to her that we were on the same page, and it meant a lot to her that I read her thing. You know, somebody took the time to write all that. People love it when you follow their posts, because if you're like me, I put something out on Facebook, and I say, gosh, I wonder, will anybody like this? Will anybody respond to it? Will it mean anything to anybody but me? And when people do, I feel validated. I feel connected. I feel like, okay, I was able to give something good today. So we always wonder, are they going to like this? Are they going to respond to this? So when people put out things, remember, even if they're famous and they have lots of followers and everything, they feel flattered that you noticed, you read, you cared, you went to their page, you checked them out. Now, when I turn on Facebook, I get the home page, and there's, you know, whatever Facebook wants to show me. So I will go down there and comment on my friends. And by the way, Facebook rewards you when you do that before you put up a post. So if you spend about 10 minutes doing that, commenting on what you see there before you put a post up, Facebook is more likely, as I understand it, to share that post with other people. It's more likely to share your post. And if you want someone to see your stuff, go to their page and comment, like, and share there, and then Facebook is more likely to show your post to that person. So just go to the people's page that you want to stay in touch with, and then when you open up your feed, they are more likely to be in your feed, and then you can stay in touch with them easily, and they're more likely to see your posts. So it's just common sense that if you want to stay in touch with somebody, you go find them and do that, or you find them in your feed and you comment, like, and share what they have. And anyway, you start really interesting conversations with people. If you put something out, they'll play off you, and it's back and forth. And I bonded with people that then I later met at Eric Worre's GoPro event, and they say, gosh, I feel like I already know you so well, you know, because of our Facebook interactions, and just being myself and being honest and real and helpful, being helpful too. I love your idea, Jeff, about Facebook groups. I know a lot of network marketers who do have 3 Facebook group categories, one for their prospects, one for their customers, and one for their distributors. And with each group, what you're doing is seeking to educate them, you know, drop something in there, maybe offer a free class. You know, if you're working with prospects that you want to simply educate, say you're doing essential oils, you can offer them a free teleclass where you can invite all of your prospects to hear more about health or essential oils, and with the goal of moving them to the next Facebook group, which is the customer ones. So you can simply educate. You can do this with a post, with comment. There's so many creative ways, with comments with people, individual private messaging, offering a class, dropping a cool video in there to help educate them, with the idea of you know, educating about health, things they can use, not just your products, but you know, things they can use around the house or do-it-yourself essential oil recipes. That would be more for the customers who are already using it. So you're always seeking, if you got your customers, what you can begin doing is telling stories in there, dropping in stories and testimonials of customers who have become distributors, and how that changed their life, and what that meant to them, how it made a difference in their lives. So you can begin dropping stories are something really good way to be back in touch with people. If you have a prospect that you'd like to move to being a customer, then tell them, you know, occasionally a story, a cool story that you have from one of your customers about a difference that it made in their life. Drop that to them and inspire them to become a customer. It was Harvey McKay who wrote Swimming with the Sharks, I think, that he said, find a creative way to, add 2 people a day to your contact list and find a creative way to be in touch with them. That was before Facebook that he said that, before social media. Now it's never been so easy to do that because you can find people, you can find them and find out what they're up to lately, where they're, hey, I saw you guys in Spain, that looks so cool. So comment on what they're into lately. It's just never been easier to do that. And you can connect with any VIP person that you want to on Facebook and social media. If there's someone that you would like as a customer, someone that you would like on your team, you think they're really a great person, someone who's influential, well-connected, entrepreneurial, just make friends with them on Facebook. I've done that with hundreds of famous people that are now my personal friends that I've been able to connect with. So Facebook and other social media really do level the playing field. Contacting the people who follow you, like Brandy was saying, if they follow your lives, if they follow any of your posts, or if they don't and you want them to, go and follow them. Comment with them, make that bridge and that connection. Jeff has said something before about the difference between rapport and relationship. And I like that a lot, because how close can you be with a large mass of people? But you can develop that rapport with a large amount of people than you can develop a close relationship with. So that is how Jeff and I got to know each other. I noticed that he was hanging around. After we talked through Eric Worre's page one time, this guy would just sort of pop up and be supportive and like my comments and say supportive and edifying things and positive things or funny things. And he was just around. That was for 4 years. 4 years. So he practiced that, and I've learned a lot from you, Jeff, about that. So I know that you want to open up the line, and we want to hear from people. We could talk a week about this one topic and the art of marketing and connecting with people. But let's hear exactly what you want to hear, right?
So what we want to do right now is we're actually going to stop the recording because I know certain people don't necessarily want all their questions recorded and then put out to everybody. So we're going to go ahead and stop the recording. We appreciate everybody for jumping on. This is the last training of the year, which is awesome. Congratulations to Brandy. That was a great training. Bess, thank you for your insights. Always awesome. And if you guys have any questions, about this that are watching the recording, please send them to us, and we'll get those as well. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and stop the recording and open this up. I appreciate everybody for being on, and if you guys want to hang out for a while, we'll hang out and do this. 1 second.